Back and out of 49ers training camp, day one of practice. And Larry, it's what's happening in the business room that is sort of defining what happened today more than anything else that really happened on the field. And we'll get to what happened on the field here in just a second. But the big news is that the holdout is not Brandon Ayuk's alone. Trent Williams has officially joined Brandon Ayuk in holding out. And considering Larry Ayuk is kind of holding in, it is a little different.
Yeah, I mean, Trent's not here, and it's all contract related. Ayuk is here, and we just don't know when he's going to play. Shanahan, when asked about Ayuk's hold in, seemed to not be upset about it at all. Kind of just, would he prefer he be practicing? Of course, but he also seemed to feel that it was better that he held in instead of held out. It's better that he's at the meetings, at the facility, thinking football. I think also, Damon, it's a really powerful thing when you're holding out. There's always the other side, the team wondering, does the player want to be here? And when you hold in, nothing says like, hey, I want to be where my feet are at. You know what I mean? So it sends a very strong message from Ayuk to the team that he wants to be a 49er.
Yeah, I think that there is something to do with being on premises. I don't think that you stay away from a team or you come and join a team that you want to get away from. So there is some symbolism there. It doesn't seem to be much concern either, Larry, over the fact that Trent Williams isn't here today. I think Trent gets an awful lot of benefit of the doubt that are given to future first ballot Hall of Famers late in their career. I'm not saying that this isn't an actual holdout for Trent Williams, but I also think that everyone understands that days of training camp missed for him, beyond a $50,000 fine, which cannot be waived, it doesn't mean much. Trent Williams doesn't need a stitch of football practice to go out and play a great football game at this point in his life and his career. But obviously, we asked in the press conference, Brock Purdy, we talked to Kyle Shanahan, and even Fred Warner, said that of course you want to see one of your leaders there. Of course you want to see one of your captains out there. But it's just a little bit of a matter of business, and I'm sure it's business that John Lynch will get to handling quickly. There is no season without Trent Williams.
No, I mean, it's always a concern. He's one of the best players on the team. I think what we're seeing here is just the evolution of this regime. I mean, every part of the regime every year has its own challenges. The first year, it was like, let's find a team, right? Our team was horrible. Our depth chart is abysmal. Let's just find some players. And then it's like, let's establish a culture. Well, here we are, it's year 8 or whatever, and they've been to 2 Super Bowls. Now it's like they've got guys they've got 13 combined Pro Bowlers and Pro Bowl alternates last year, 9 Pro Bowlers, 4 All-Pros. It's the little bit of the disease of me. It's like, you know what? We've made our money, or we've built our team up. We've taken our shot at the Super Bowl. Now you got all these great players. Now it's time to pay all these great players, and so it's a different chapter and different challenge. And now the challenge is finding the talent. Then it's winning. Now they've won. They haven't won it all, but they've won a lot. Now they got to figure out a way to keep the thing together, and it's a huge challenge in the cap era.
It's been a big challenge bringing in Brandon Ayuk. Obviously, Trent Williams is now a contractual challenge that the 49ers need to address. In terms of attendance after that, it was pretty much full attendance today. We saw everybody out there except for Ayuk and Trent Williams. Christian McCaffrey is in the room, but he was not asked to do anything in practice today. A few questions here. Why didn't Christian McCaffrey practice? That is just precaution. That is an unnecessary reps for a player who's totally entrenched. But I will say this, Larry, not that we want to take any one particular moment of training camp and try to discern too much from it. Brock Purdy looked very, very good and crisp, and I don't think you can say that about any other 49er quarterback today. It was not a great day for Josh Dobbs. I didn't see much of Tanner Mordecai. Maybe you caught more of that. I know you got your Mordecai eye out there. You were maybe caught him when I didn't, but what I did see of Dobbs could only be described as unimpressive today. Malik Mustafa made maybe the most impressive play out on the field with a beautiful high point interception when Dobbs was looking. He was looking for Danny Gray down the sideline, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that was an incredible play. I asked Shanahan about it in the presser afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, it was."
Get in the frame. Get in the frame, honey.
I mean,
there you go.
what it was savage. It was just a savage interception. It was Gray down the sideline, one-on-one with the corner, and you had Mustafa playing the deep middle, and he came over. It looked like looked like quarter coverage, and he came over and high pointed the ball and just ripped it out of the air with one arm, with three guys going up for it. This guy skied above all of them and ripped it away. It was a savage interception. It was the kind of play that just screams, I'm the beast up in this one. And watch out for Malik Mustafa.
Yeah.
He is going to be a tremendous 49er. Get your Malik Mustafa jerseys. Get them early.
By the way, no one needs to say that we're pronouncing that wrong. Malik would be the wrong pronunciation. It is Malik Mustafa. So there we go. Thanks very much to a super chat. Ben Affleck's double chins say, Larry, go get yourself some corn nuts at the Chevron and a 40 ounce. So there you go. It's already a profitable day for us here. Speaking of the rest of training camp, I thought Cody Schrader made a couple of nice plays, good runs. Again, it's hard to discern what is a good play and a good run when there aren't any real pads out there. But he had a few breakaway moments.
All running backs get to the secondary.
Right. Garendo, though. Isaac Garendo has a little bit of a hamstring pull here today. That's not good. Obviously, there's no Ricky Pearsall, who's on the PUP list right now, so he wasn't out there to see. I thought Eric Sauerberg had a good showing in the little that I saw for him. You want to talk about wrestling away a 50-50 ball from a defender? He did that on a little fade pass. It was Brock's first pass in 11-on-11s. So an early target for Brock Purdy, Eric Sauerberg.
I'll tell you, the most disappointing moment of the day was definitely when Garendo went down with the hamstring injury. But I think it was Purdy who threw a ball in the flat to Garendo, and Garendo made a guy miss. As we said, there's no tackling of the running back, so did he really make a guy miss? I don't know. But he exploded down the sideline. And maybe it's because the guy's wearing 49 and it's a fullback number. Maybe it's I've got this weird obsession with wanting to make this guy a fullback. I just see a super dynamic fullback. Like, as a running back, he runs kind of upright. He doesn't have the kind of pick and slide that natural running backs have. But he's enormously big and strong and fast. We're talking about 225 pounds. I think this guy could be an incredible, difference-making fullback. I mean, imagine if you're Shanahan, if you could add a 4'3", 225-pound fullback to what you already have. Because, you throw this guy the ball in the flat. The ball in the flat, there's usually one defender out there. You make that defender miss, and that's a big play. And if you have 4.3 speed, he could be absolutely gone down the sideline. So I thought Garendo's catch and run was like, whoa. That was the big high opener offensively, and then his hamstring pull, obviously the bummer.
There is some vertical speed. You saw it in Cowing. You saw it in Danny Gray. You didn't see a lot of catched plays, receptions downfield, but there's no doubt the 49ers got some speed. And I asked Brock Purdy if he had a smoother day one, considering this was the much ballyhooed, healthy offseason for Brock Purdy. How did day one go? He did feel it was a bit smoother than his other day one experiences of training camp. He looked good. Everyone's asking about the extra weight he put on. I don't see that much of a physical difference. He's always been kind of a stocky, thick guy anyways, but everybody, look, as you would expect on an NFL training camp, everybody looked in shape. A lot of great physiques out there. Nick Bosa, again, he's an absolute physical specimen. It's hard to evaluate what you're seeing on offensive or defensive line play because nobody's in pads, nobody's really hitting out there, but that guy's get off, just watching his first step on the snap of a ball, it's very impressive. The guy's a total specimen, as in Fred Warner. And the guys who are the established core and vocal leaders of this team did an awful lot of vocal leading, I thought, in day one. And that might be, the big day one difference between this year and a couple of years ago. The young guys who used to be the quiet guys are now the loud guys talking the most.
Well, there's a natural evolution for sure. The leadership gets passed down. I didn't get a lot of good feel up front on the defensive side of the ball. I've heard good things about
You're drifting.
some
You're
of
drifting.
the 49er players, but some of the 49er defenders. But I mean, like, I thought Evan Anderson to me looked grossly out of shape.
You can
today.
see that you're not in frame. Get
There we
your
go.
head in there. Hey,
Well,
get in there. You're in.
But I mean, Anderson to me is just not. He's got to be 330, and he just looked really sloppy bodied. So that to me was not a good sign. I was hoping that he would show up a little bit more trim, a little bit more ready to contribute. He looks like a guy who needs, a year to like get in shape. That does not look like the kind of guy that can help them right away. So I think the defensive line is my big concern coming out of day one. Is just, what do they have enough? I mean, is Drake Jackson going to be good? Is Robert Beal going to be good? Do they have enough at defensive end behind Yatir Gross-Matos, Leonard Floyd, and Nick Bosa? And I would say no. That to me is my big concern. But man, the one I'll be thinking about is just the Mustafa play, because Mustafa is, one, it's a great name, but I mean, the guy's got an amazing game, and I think Niner fans are going to love watching him this year.
Sorry about all the noise behind us. We would normally do this from inside of Levi's Stadium, but Deadpool's soccer team is here today. So we've been banished here to the outside, into the wind, into the elements, into beeping, backing up trucks.
We did have a super.
Oh, another super right there. Let's go down. That's R. Lee saying Trent Williams, is already holding out. Really? Look, consider it sort of standard operating procedure. I don't think anyone is worried about it. I don't think anybody envisions a world where Trent Williams won't be out there when the bullets start flying and it's all for real. Larry's going through the chats. There is an Eat It Ike's. Indeed, Eat It Ike's. Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Larry, as always, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. We are, you're looking at the team that brings you Wake Up 3 days a week. Are we going to be back on it on Friday, or are you going to be back down here?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Wait and see. But we will definitely be doing lots of Wake Up this year.
Lots of Wake Up, lots coming at you. It was a good day one of Niner camp. Nothing really dramatic to report other than Brandon Ayuk is holding in, and he walked off the field with John Lynch. That can't be a bad thing. Trent Williams is holding out, but of course that's a player you get a deal done with, so I don't think that that's, a reason to have any anxiety. Obviously, you'd like him here. Hasn't happened, no big deal. It will happen, but here we are. There's an official big football helmet behind us, and if that doesn't tell you the football season's about to start, nothing will. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to both Damon Bruce Plus and the Krug Show. Larry, thanks for stopping on by today.
Yeah, I would just say, I would say it's a good development today. Now, the Trent Williams thing was unexpected, but a good development that Ayuk is holding in. I didn't expect him to practice, but I think when a guy holds in, that's an indication that you're getting in the final stretches of an agreement. And even though Lynch would not guarantee that he wouldn't trade Ayuk, I think we're probably 5 or 6 days away from an agreement. That's just my sense of it. No sources, but that's what I'm thinking.
Instincts.
Instincts.
Get some.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.